Hi there, I'm Adam Kirbas and this is my novel, The Video. Ineş is incensed. She's strutting mad towards her home complex. She's out of her wits. Someone has stolen her identity, and it took her a while to find out who, where, what is going on. She was dumbstruck. How is it even possible? She was always precautious. She heeded all these advices. Hackers did not get to her, and yet it happened. Someone stole Inesh's identity. She of course immediately went to the police. These things, they have to be reported. Who knows where this might all lead to? Criminal syndicates. Or whatever it is, someone has to make an end to it. She has not heard anything about identity theft in special, but she somehow feels nothing good can come out of it. This is a dangerous game. And she went straight to the police, reported it. Someone has stolen her identity. She got a park ticket. She's not going to pay for it. She doesn't even drive this car. Someone parked somewhere. Her identity gave her address. And then she received a park ticket for not having paid for it, for parking unlawfully. How is it even possible? What is happening? She has been a victim of a criminal organization, and Inesh's blood is boiling. She's out of her wits. How can it all happen to her? Maybe think that because she is a single mom that they can corner her, that they can intimidate her. Well, Ineş will prove them wrong. Ineş will show them that she is not one of these women who can be caved, who can be put into a corner. No, she went straight to the police, but it was weird. It was weird to talk to someone. The moment she went in there and said to one of those assistants what she was up to, that she wanna report identity theft. She was being scrutinized all over. The woman looked her straight in her eyes and was thoughtful. Ineş was struck and stalled for a moment. What should she make of it? Why was this woman looking at her? Why was she staring at her? Did she somehow remind her of someone? Well, maybe she's a racist. Ineş is Mexican. For some white folks, Mexicans, they all look like the same. Or maybe she thought that Ineş is a criminal and that this is a great criminal scheme, and now she brings in the police. Who knows? Now this entire mess became very uncomfortable for Ineş. There is only one Ineş Santiago, and the world should know. With her face on it, with her address, and with her boy, Juan. She had to go through a lot, and the last thing she needs is someone ruining her life, because this is how this all feels like. Someone is ruining her life. This has to be something that is mean. This has to be someone who has no heart whatsoever. Someone who probably feels joy in destroying other people's lives. Ineş imagines a hacker, some white man, some American, who probably targets Latinos, a racist, who thinks that Latinos would owe him something, who thinks that he should ensure that Latinos pay back their due, whatever their due might be. No. Now, even the thought makes Ineş infuriated. that someone like this would do this to her. But in the police station, the moment she walked in, the woman some sort of stole. And then she met someone, Officer Garcias, Mexican, of course, where you always have this feeling that whenever you go somewhere, talk to someone, then white folks somehow think that it is not their responsibility to talk to you. No, they need another Latino who talks to you, as if we cannot talk between each other, as if those different ethnicities, races cannot talk interracially, as if someone would need to be from the same social background. Maybe they thought that Inesh does not speak proper English while she speaks American English fluently with a significant American accent. She's no bump. She's not someone who just lives along. She has a plan. She has a life. She has someone to care for. What do these know? Officer Garcias came to her, asked her what she was up to. Another Mexican. She didn't want to get involved to it. She didn't want it to be too much attached and talk about Mexico. This is probably what these white folks imagine what Mexicans do. They meet and talk about their home, where they come from. Inesh indeed was curious where Officer Garcias was from, whether she can share experience with him. Which part of Mexico? Well, it does matter. For white folks, Mexico is just one country. But for Mexican, it depends where you come from the east or from the west, from southern California, or from the Caribbean. There is a whole difference to it. Why, if you are from Mexico City? But Inesh didn't want to talk about Mexico. She had to remind herself what this was all about, that this was about her life, and that someone is obviously hurting her. Someone has stolen her identity, and she has proof of it. She's proof, and she wants the police to do something. Inesh showed Officer Garcia the parking ticket. She told him, "That's not mine. I haven't parked there. I haven't got a car, and I suspect that someone has stolen my identity." Officer Garcia again was thoughtful. Did something happen? Did something happen that Inesh did not know about? Another attack? What was it all about? Another scandal? Well, Inesh felt guilty because she does not read the news paper quite often. She's not in touch with the latest news. She doesn't know anything about politics, only a little, only those skirmishes on American and Mexican TV. Most of the time Inesh watches Mexican soap operas. She has no sense for politics. All seems to be boring. All seems to be far away, detached, non-personal. Inesh lives on a personal footing on the life that is close, understandable, that gives her meaning. This is who Inesh is. Personal. So, what was Officer Garcia up to? Inesh at first didn't quite grasp, but he was thoughtful, as if he was troubled by something. Then after a while he spoke. Well, probably there could be a misunderstanding. Well, obviously Inesh wanted to play out, but she held back at least. She didn't want anyone to think that she would not know how to behave herself, that she's well aware how someone ought to behave, that Mexicans and Americans, that there are no huge differences, because she felt the eyes of Americans, of those white folks on her appearance, what they might say, and that she wanted to be cautious. She didn't want to give them ammunition so that they can look down on Mexicans, so that they say, yeah, well, Mexican women, look at them, they are insolent, they are indignant, they don't know how to act. No, she was well educated, and this entire mess, Inesh hoped, would solve itself in the end. But she wanted to keep calm. No police officer should be repelled. She didn't want to be the person who's been hated. And then those police officers, Officer Garcia and all, Officer Smith, Inesh didn't know those white folks' name. Actually, for a fact, she didn't have any non-Mexican friends. And yet, she assumed that all of them, all non-Mexicans, they somehow are named the same. Smith, Jones, Johnson, all the same, living in all same little boxes, boring. And their life must be miserable because they can do nothing but hate foreigners, hate Mexicans. What did Mexicans do to you? No, they only wait for a moment, for an opportunity to strike at you. So you have to be careful. And Inesh didn't want anyone of them now investigating her case and then finding any justification, talking behind her back. Well, it's not worth it. Who cares? Probably they say to her, this is what she feared, that someone would ever tell her, well, you Mexicans, you all look the same. Well, this could happen. It is hardly possible to differentiate you. This would be insulting. And the last thing, Inesh wanted to be a victim of an insult, especially from a policeman here in the police precinct, because she depended on them. This is what she knew exactly. She depended on the police to solve this issue, to help her to come clean, to help her to protect her. Officer Garcia, after a while, I continued speaking. I'm pretty much sure that these things can be sorted out, that people can talk about it. People. He emphasized people, and he was so calm. He was calm, as if he would not take Inesh seriously. What was it all about? Maybe this person who had assumed her identity, maybe she had already messed up things. Maybe she was already a known case. Maybe. And all these maybes, what was Inesh supposed to do? She didn't know. But one thing was sure, that this had to stop. She did not trust anyone. This is how Inesh grew up. In this world you don't have anyone. In this world you have to look twice. In this world, friends are rare, and even if you have friends, you better watch out your back. No one has got your back. This is what Inesh always realized very early on. You have to be very careful. This is dangerous. So how should she talk to someone? And more, Inesh felt as if she was not taken seriously. Why should she talk to someone? Because even the thought of having to talk to someone about this, how do you start? What do you tell to someone, to a criminal? Stop being a criminal. Stop using my identity. What have you done? Why me? This is actually what Inesh is interested in. Why me? Do I look like a victim? Am I